Alrighty, I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be sharing a bunch of messages for you that I got all week. They're all intuitive messages. I got 6 total, and I really hope this resonates with you. I also want you to know that not every message will be applicable to your situation or your relationship or your life, but I'm pretty certain that at least 2 out of the 6, or maybe 3 out of the 6, are really going to land for you. So, why don't we start with message number 1, which is a bit of an unconventional message, but I thought it was pretty cool when I received it. So, the first message is that you're feeling a lot of anxiety right now. Your anxiety is through the roof, and you might be thinking that there's something wrong with you. I want to assure you that nothing is wrong with you. Okay, you're being stretched, you're being squeezed, you're being tossed around. But the message I got around this is that the anxiety is actually a representation of all the eyes that are going to be on you in the future. So maybe you have a dream career and you haven't quite gotten there yet. You're still working toward that. You're still climbing the ladder, as it were. But it's almost like the anxiety is the universe giving you a chance to grow into all the attention that you're going to be receiving in the future. So try not to shy away from what you're feeling. Instead, really open up your heart and give yourself a chance to feel into the future version of yourself. Because that future version of yourself is going to have a lot more responsibilities. You're going to have a lot of attention on you, and you're going to want to be able to sleep at night. Like if you have a big interview the next day, or you're shooting a movie the next day, or you're singing in studio or doing an event, you're going to want to be comfortable when you arrive at that future version of yourself. So the anxiety almost represents the gap that needs to be bridged. It's all the people who don't actually know you yet, but they're already interacting with your psyche so that you can really step into more of who you are and who you see yourself becoming. So a bit of a different spin on the anxiety, but I think it's a pretty cool angle to look at things from. So the anxiety is not to be ignored or avoided. I think that's only going to exacerbate how you feel. Instead, give yourself a chance to feel it open, expand. Yeah, open up your heart. Lean into it. Imagine that you're in relationship with your anxiety and it's actually trying to get you to see that you're going to become somebody important and impactful in this world, but it's almost preparing you now. It's trying to get you to integrate the parts of you that you're still running from or the parts of you that you're still trying to avoid, which is only going to lead to more suffering. So instead, I encourage you to really grow into this opportunity to become more of you via the anxiety that you're experiencing at the moment. So that was message number 1. It's a little unconventional, but I thought it was pretty cool. So let's move into message number 2 now. I feel like you've been having a conversation with yourself about somebody or about a particular situation, and you want to kind of be done with the situation. But it's almost like you're trying to force yourself to come to a decision. So I want you to instead naturally arrive at the decision by sitting with it a little while longer. So everything that you're doing right now is fine. You're kind of going back and forth in your mind, which is normal, especially if you've been dating somebody that's been a little toxic or a little inconsistent. You're kind of wanting to get to that decision now because you know that it's unhealthy for you. Or maybe you've been dealing with a family member who's not treating you kindly and you're just wanting to stop talking to them because they bring out the worst qualities in you. So everything that you're feeling around the situation is accurate. So I just want to confirm you in that. I want to validate your feelings that everything that you're experiencing as it relates to the situation is accurate. The only warning I want to give you is that if you try to quicken the decision, then, and it's not really coming from a organic or natural place, it may backfire later on. think of it as a pothole, and rather than really taking care and repairing the street, you're trying to jump over it, but later on, you might pop a tire or something. So just think of it in terms of you want to take your time with this decision. You want to make sure that you crossed all your T's and dotted your I's. And that way, when the decision is finally made, rest assured that you're not going to have any remorse in the future or any regret in the future. So, an example of this might be that you've been dating somebody who's been toxic and who hasn't given you the commitment that you've been wanting. And so you're almost forcing yourself to detach from them rather than really taking your time and assessing how everything went down, really evaluating how the situation unfolded and arriving at that decision more naturally. So that's the idea. Take your time with it, sit with it. Again, everything you're picking up on in regards to the situation is spot on. Is just that you want to go through an emotional process where you kind of mature or you grow into that decision very naturally. So I hope that helps you. Take your time with it. Don't do anything impulsive. Don't do anything reactive. If you've been thinking about leaving someone or whatever the case might be, don't be too impulsive because that will bite you in the ass later on. Okay? You want to make sure that you really took your time and you completed the process of feeling everything that you needed to feel revolving the situation. And that way you can make peace with it once and for all. Now we're going to move into message number 3. Message number 3 is that you need to stop wanting something from somebody who can't give it to you. You need to stop wanting from people who don't have the emotional capacity to meet you there. So here we might be talking about a family member and you're wanting them to be something that they're not. But in doing so, you're actually hurting yourself more because you're refusing to accept that they're not going to change. They are who they are. It kind of goes back to that saying, leopards don't change their spots. So if you have someone who is very stubborn in their ways and they're never really seeing you or hearing you, it's time for you to finally move away from that relationship or that friendship or that situation, because I feel like this has now become your lesson. So in the beginning, you had really pure intentions around the situation. You were trying to get through to someone who wasn't really hearing you. Everything you were sharing was falling on deaf ears. But now that they've shown you time and again that they're not going to be changing for you, this has become your lesson to relinquish your control and to accept that they're not going to change for you. So in life, we have to be able to identify when someone can't give us something that we're wanting. And maybe it's for the best. Maybe they need to start aligning with people who are more like them, and you need to find people who are more like you and stop being so insistent on them changing. So even though you've been right about this person, you've been completely right about this person. Sometimes people don't want to receive your love. And unfortunately or fortunately, you have to accept that and start moving in a different direction. So don't hold on to people who are incapable of giving you what would be healthy for them and what would also allow you to heal. By holding on to them, you're actually hurting yourself rather than allowing yourself to truly heal and become a new version of yourself that's not always begging for love, that's not always working so hard to get through to them. This is about you letting yourself off the hook and you making peace with the fact that you've done everything that you could to try to get through to this family member or to try to get through to your partner or to this friend, and they're just not willing to meet you there or to receive it. So you have to be willing to let them go and know that your life is only going to get better if you do. You're going to be unburdening yourself. You have such a good heart, but I feel like sometimes it's like you're giving your love to the wrong people, if that makes sense. And there are people out there who would gladly and gratefully receive your love. It's time for you to accept that the people you've been trying to get through to can't receive your love and instead give your energy to someone else, give your love to someone else who would be grateful to receive it. So that was message number 3. Now let's move into message number 4. So you've been waking up every day with this feeling of dread. I've had it too a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, I really don't want to do today. I'm really not in the mood. So something in your life has been out of alignment, something that you haven't really been able to put your finger on has not been working for you. And it's just causing you to wake up with this feeling of dread, like you don't want to go into this day and do another day because it's like you can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know that this is going to be a lengthier process, that you're not going to get the solution or the answer you want right away. So we're looking here at about another month or another few weeks, but it's not going to be an overnight thing. And this can really suck because you want your life to get better and you don't necessarily know what you did to cause this feeling in you. But I want to assure you today that it's not you. It's just what you're moving through. You're going through what they call a dark night of the soul. You're going through, if you will, an emotional death. You're letting go of this old version of yourself. And that can be really painful because you feel like you're shriveling up like a little raisin and you don't know who you are anymore. You're losing your sense of self. But that may not be the worst thing. The silver lining is that on the other side of this, you're not going to try so hard to be you. You're just going to be you. I've been saying all week that it takes zero energy to be yourself. And maybe this is your sign that it's time to start kind of assessing or examining the ways in which you've been showing up in your friendships, the ways you've been showing up in your career or in your relationships, and ask yourself, have you really been your most authentic self? Or is it possible that you've been exerting a lot of energy trying to build a momentum or trying to excite people or gain traction in a way that's not fully in alignment with you? So just remember that the more inauthentic you are, the more it's going to drain your energy. And then you're going to resent living your life. You're going to resent doing another day of building your business or being in this relationship or continuing to see the same people in your life. And that's because the universe is asking you to drop all pretenses. The universe is asking you to almost be nonchalant in your approach. That's what I've been practicing. It's almost like just show up as me. And if people judge me for that, or if they're like, oh, he's not smiling a lot, or whatever, I don't care. Like, I'd rather take care of my health and my well being and not exert so much effort trying to get people to like me, but rather being liked for who I really am. So I'm not necessarily getting here that you need to stop what you've been doing. It's more maybe reinventing yourself or unlearning the behaviors that you've been learning to get to a certain level, maybe, or to get people to like you. Maybe it's more about undoing and unlearning that and really getting back to you in a nonchalant way, like you're done exerting all this effort trying to be something that you're not, because you know that that's only going to cause you to hate what you do. And then you're going to dread doing another day. So just know that this is temporary. You're not going to feel this way for much longer now. I feel like you need to get tired of your old methods. You need to get tired of your old approach. You need to just accept that the only way that you can last in this game is by being you, by being your most authentic self. Stop projecting an idea of what you want people to perceive you as, and instead accept yourself and do less. Less is more. So just do less and be more. Just be yourself more. Okay. And that's going to be the winning formula moving forward. I really feel like whoever you've been in the past cannot come with you. You would have burnt out. You're already burning out. So this is just a matter of just really embracing who you've always been, but that you were afraid to be for fear of being judged, for fear of not succeeding, for fear of not getting the views or the likes that you want to get. Maybe you're actually going to get more views or you're going to be more successful in your career, in your friendships, in your relationships by not trying anymore, but rather just being. just being you. So I hope that message resonates with you. We're going to move into message number 5 now. So, message number 5, I feel like you've been thinking about giving up on your dreams. Maybe you're a singer, maybe you're wanting to be a mom, maybe you're wanting to be in a relationship, maybe you're wanting to move elsewhere. But I really feel like you've been considering very seriously giving up on your dreams and you're feeling very depressed about it. You're feeling depressed about the prospect of no longer doing what brings you so much joy and what you're so passionate about. My message for you around this is think about the alternative. Like, realistically speaking, practically speaking, what would it look like if you actually gave up on your dreams right now and you decided to do the thing that you've been talking about? Maybe like completely giving up and not doing social media, or stopping to write, or stopping to act, or stopping to sing, or giving up on this fantasy of having a family someday, you know? Like, what would that actually look like if you stopped everything? Take a moment and think about that. What would it actually look like, practically speaking, if you stopped doing what you're doing? Would you truly be happy? Or would you feel that everything you've been working toward would just be tossed out the window? Like, if you step away from what you've been doing and you take 5 months off or a year off and you come back to it, you may have to start all over. It's kind of like starting from square one. So, is that what you really want? I just felt the urge to ask you this because I fear that if you stop doing what you've been doing, you're going to regret it, or you're going to feel like you were reactive and you're missing out on so many amazing things. And I also want you to know that in life, nothing comes easily. You have to pay your dues. And so I understand that you're not exactly where you want to be right now, but work with what you have. Do the best you can. We all know that this is not the ideal version of your life, but is it at least a little closer to what you want to be doing rather than picking the alternative, which is not doing it at all? So, really start asking yourself, if I did quit everything right now, if I completely threw in the towel, what does the alternative look like? And is that really you, or is that more of your reactive self, the part of you that is self defeatist and the part of you that is not really believing in yourself anymore? Because I really feel like if you stay the course with what you've been doing, something will eventually unblock for you. I want you to know that. But it's not easy. It's not even easy for me sometimes. Like, I struggle because it's like I know who I can be in this world, but it's just not really reflecting in my physical life yet. But my choices are to either completely give up and stop showing up, or to not make it about me and to keep showing up and trust that it's all going to happen in perfect time. Because I know that if I stopped doing what I was doing now, I would be very, like, severely depressed. And I know myself, I have a dark side. So I would probably go to a very, very, very dark place and I'd be miserable. So I'm not begging you, but I'm encouraging you to just hang in there a little while longer. You know, maybe you can pull it back a little bit, but still show up for people, or still show up for the people in your life, and know that something will eventually unblock for you. So I hope that helps. Now I'm going to move into the final message of the day. Message number 6 kind of dovetails with my last message, but it's slightly different. I want you to start noticing how often you feed into your dark side. How often are you complaining about your life? How often are you complaining about not being where you want to be? Because every time you open up your mouth and you speak those thoughts, you're actually creating another setback for yourself. You don't realize you do this, but I mean, we all do this, but I want you to really look at why you're feeding your dark side so often. What if every time you're feeding into your reactivity and you're feeding into the complaints, into the woe is me, you're actually telling the universe, I don't believe that you're going to make my dreams come true. I don't believe that everything I want in my heart is going to happen in this life. I really don't believe. So, what if this is about you getting back to being more mindful about what comes out of your mouth and instead starting to believe that the universe will work things out for you, but that takes discipline. You have to discipline yourself to really be mindful about what comes out of your mouth. If all you do is complain, then you're choosing to stay where you are. You're actually choosing to make your situation worse. But if instead you go, okay, I see that thought, but I'm not going to feed that thought. Instead, I'm going to rise above it. And in doing so, you're beginning to cultivate more trust with the universe. You're starting to reignite your belief in yourself and in your dreams. And eventually, something amazing will click into place. So I really want you to pay attention to how you speak about yourself. Is it kind? Or are you being very critical of yourself? And remember that your future is going to be a product of how you treat yourself here and now. So if you're always feeding your dark side, then your future is still going to be dark. You're not going to be where you want to be. But if you start to believe in the unseen again, if you start to believe in your potential again, and you make choices that are in accordance with the future that you envision for your life, then that is precisely how it will unfold. Okay. It's all about you being vigilant when it comes to the intrusive thoughts that you have and making sure that you don't take the bait and that you speak something that isn't true. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel mad. It's okay to feel depressed. But at some point, you got to ask yourself if talking about it is making you worse or it's making you feel better. It might make you feel better for the day, but then you'll feel worse the next day. So I'm asking you to be a little more vigilant with what comes out of your mouth and start believing yourself again and know that something amazing will come of it. So I hope this video resonated with you. If it did, let me know in the comments below. I love you so much. Be good to yourself and know that everything will click into place in perfect time.